Hey y'all. Okay, listen. Thank you for joining me today. For those of you that get ready to come in, let me first say if you're watching this on YouTube, when you watch the playback, it's going to be drastically different. I am recording this live on Facebook simply because I haven't been live on Facebook in forever. And since I haven't been live on Facebook in forever, I don't know how to use it. So, with that being said, when you watch this back on YouTube, there are going to be pictures, there are going to be other illustrations and stuff. I just don't know how to do that on Facebook right now. And I've committed to going live once a week and giving you guys some nutrition info and tips. So hopefully, I will, learn how to use Facebook Live again. All right, so let's get started. And just so you know, if I don't answer your comments right away, I will come back and check them. I am going to be flipping back and forth between my notes and talking to you all. So today, we're going to be talking about a very important subject: heart health in women, specifically cardiovascular disease and how it affects women in 2024. I'm going to give you guys some real life tips. We're going to talk about the latest health trends and how sustainable nutrition can help keep our hearts strong and healthy. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. Okay. First, let's talk about the unique risk factors for heart disease in women compared to men. Um, dun, 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 dun. Did you know that women the risk factors for women can be quite different? For example, hormonal differences play a huge role. Estrogen helps protect our hearts, but as we age, we go through menopause. Those levels drop, increasing our risk. And women also tend to have higher rates of hypertension and diabetes, both which are significant factors when it comes to heart disease. So these are some key factors that we have to pay attention to when it comes to our health. There have been studies that have been shown to that women who experience early menopause are twice at risk for developing heart disease later in life compared to those who enter menopause later. So, additionally, conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome, which affects up to about 10% of childbearing women, are associated with higher risk of cardiovascular issues. By the way, if I pause in between, it's because I'm giving myself some space when I go back and do editing to add pictures and stuff. So, pregnancy related complications can also increase the risk for heart disease. Women who have had preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, or even pregnancy induced hypertension are more likely to develop heart disease later in life. Now, this highlights the importance of discussing your pregnancy history with your healthcare provider. So, when you go to the doctor, it's very important that you answer all of those questions honestly and outright, and just let them know what has happened during your pregnancy. Did you have preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, or hypertension while you were pregnant? That helps with your medical history, and it also helps with your medical future. So they'll know what to be, or they should know what to be expecting, or what to, or how to approach your health in the future. Now, psychosocial factors such as depression, chronic stress are also more prevalent in women and can exuberate our heart disease risk. According to studies published in Circulation magazine, depression is associated with about 50% increase risk of heart disease in women. So, if you are experiencing some mental health issues, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, and I'll say this, diagnose mental health issues. Otherwise, you need to go get yourself diagnosed and you need to speak to a therapist. If you have been diagnosed with any of those mental issues, you need to take heed on how that plays on your heart. If you followed any of my spiritual wellness stuff or anything that I talk about in my 30 pounds in 30 days program, you'll understand that I talk a lot about interconnectedness and how our spiritual health, our social health, our mental health, and our physical health are all connected. Those of you who will be joining us later in the year when we discuss the 10 dimensions of wellness will see how we are all all of those dimensions of wellness are connected to each other. Your mental health, your cultural health, your emotional health all affect your physical health. I even tell my emotional eating clients that the way you look at money, the way you look at the world, all of that affects how you eat and how your body reacts to things. So, just in cases of mental wellness, try your best to get help for those situations because that is actually playing a huge part on you having an increased risk of heart disease. Now, I'm not talking to, well, I'm going to say this. I'm talking to the women, but this also applies to men as well. Now, certain autoimmune diseases, which are also more common in women, like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, can also increase our risk of cardiovascular problems due to chronic inflammation. So, I've given you a couple of things that you can sort of you probably, if you're experiencing in your everyday life. We talked about pregnancy related complications increasing your heart issues. Those of us who are on the verge of menopause, whether we're early menopause or we're going into menopause as we should in life, those that has a bearing on your heart and your risk for heart disease. Your sexual health has a bearing on your heart and your risk for heart disease. Your mental health has a bearing on your heart and your risk for heart disease. So we've gone over those factors and we've talked about that. But let's talk a little bit about menopause and how we can manage our risk of heart disease after this stage in our lives. Now, like many of you, I am in my 40s. I am actually in my mid 40s, and I am in what would be called premenopause, and I am experiencing some of those menopausal symptoms. But menopause brings about hormonal changes that actually increase our risk. There are strategies we can use to manage that. Regular health checkups are very crucial, but so are healthy eating habits. I talk to you guys about that all the time. Focus on heart friendly foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. I'm going to take it one step further. If you watched my interview yesterday on the MLTN network, I talked about seasonal fruits. I talked about sustainable meat. I talked about where we should be getting our foods from. So when we talk about food and fruits and vegetables and whole grains and lean meats, we also need to be thinking sustainably for that just increases our um, availability to being better and being well. We'll get into a little bit more about sustainable nutrition later in this conversation, but regular physical activity is also essential. It keeps our heart strong and helps manage our weight and our stress levels. The American Heart Association actually recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity or 75 minutes of vigorous activity each week. So let's do the math. Where's my phone? Okay, right here. There are 7 days in the week. So we're talking about from Sunday to Saturday. And that is literally 10 minutes of vigorous activity every day. So if you can fit in 10 minutes of vigorous activity, or let's do it the other way, or 22 minutes of just moderate activity. So that's 10 minutes of vigorous activity or either 22 minutes of moderate activity a day. That will simply help strengthen your heart. And it will also be beneficial for maintaining muscle mass and bone density. It can be anything as simple as a brisk walk, swimming, or dancing. Strength training exercises, twice a week are beneficial as well. So if you want to throw in some strength training, it can't hurt. Okay. I'm gonna just keep it real. Now let's go back, rewind, and talk about sustainable nutrition a little bit here. Now, here's some ways that you can incorporate sustainable nutrition into you actually caring for your heart. And remember earlier I talked about eating fruits and vegetables and whole grains and lean proteins. Well, with sustainable nutrition, you want to actually choose locally sourced seasonal foods. They not only help support a healthy heart, but they also help support a healthy environment. It's a win win for all. Like, for instance, incorporating foods rich in omega 3s, like salmon, flaxseed, or walnuts, can actually reduce inflammation and lower the risk for heart disease. The DASH diet, dietary approaches to stopping hypertension, is also extremely effective in reducing your blood pressure and improving your heart health. This diet emphasizes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, low fat dairy, while also limiting saturated fat and cholesterol. I will drop a meal plan for you guys on my page today, a 7 day. Oh, you know what? I don't even have to do that. Go over to my website. I'll just drop that meal plan because I have a Dash Diet meal plan already set up on my website. So you can go over to my website and get that meal plan. But I'll drop it on my page for those of you who are interested. So, again, you want to choose locally sourced fruits and vegetables. You want to eat seasonal foods. Um, and what I have a blog post that I did yesterday, and it's talking about seasonal fruits and vegetables. You can go over to my website and also see that, and I'll drop that on the page again. It's already on there. You just got to scroll because I post a lot, but I'll drop it on the page so you can see it and read it. Maintaining a healthy weight is crucial to maintaining a healthy heart. So, postmenopausal women often experience weight gain, particularly around their abdomen area, which is an increase for heart disease risk. And if you've talked to me before, that's usually where I try to focus on when you come to me about nutrition. I generally talk about that tire around your waist and how we want to get rid of it. And if you've ever met me, you will know I don't have one. Yeah. So, monitoring your waist circumference can be a good indicator of risk. Aim to keep your waist below 35 to 40 inches. So this comes directly from a health journal. But I want to just say this. You don't have to measure your waist to know what your waist looks like. Your waist should fit with your body. So you might have a wider hip span, or you might have a wider torso that may not allow you to be below 35 to 40 inches. But you have to do what's healthier for you and healthiest for your body, okay? So just remember that. It's not about always about what the standards say. Sometimes it's really about what's healthier for you. And the key here is maintaining a flatter abdomen area and not having so much fat around that area, because having fat in that area increases your risk for heart disease. And I've said that many times before. Now, women, there are some things that I did not know that I found out about while doing research for actually speaking about women's health. And it's that women's symptoms for heart attacks are way different from men. You may actually have a silent heart attack and not even know it. So, unlike men who often experience the classic chest pain, women might have different symptoms like extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, even back pain. Now, these symptoms can be easy to dismiss, but it's also crucial that you listen to your body. If it feels like something is off, don't hesitate to seek medical advice. Early detection can save lives. Let me repeat that. Early detection can save lives. So, And I know those symptoms are also associated with other diseases and other ailments. So you don't want to just brush them off because you think extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, and back pain could literally be your cycle. Extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, or back pain could be the flu, but it could also be a heart attack in a woman. So keep that in mind. Yeah. According to the American Heart Association, nearly two-thirds of women who die suddenly of coronary heart disease had no previous symptoms, ladies. This makes it even more important to be aware of the subtle signs. So, women, you might experience jaw pain, you might experience nausea, lightheadedness, or even just the feeling of unease. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it's critical that you actually seek medical attention immediately. Now, imagine if you were experiencing them, all of them at once, because you wouldn't think that your jaw was hurting because you was having a heart attack. You wouldn't think that you were nauseated because you were having a heart attack. But put them all together: extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, back pain, jaw pain, nausea, lightheadedness, and just feeling like out of sorts. You literally could be having a heart attack. And those are also the symptoms of anxiety. So you see, stress, mental wellness, and your physical wellness are all associated with your heart risk and the risk for heart disease. Research from the American Medical Association indicates that women are more likely to experience heart attacks with less dramatic symptoms, often leading to delays in seeking treatment. This delay can have a serious consequence, like death, as timely intervention is very important for your survival and your recovery. So, we covered the ailments, what can lead to that. We covered the risk factors. We've covered, identifying silent heart attacks, how to sort of manage that with nutrition, how you should pay attention to symptoms that men will grab their chest and their left arm will hurt and they know they're having a heart attack, but that may not be the case for women. So let's talk about ways that we can manage our stress to reduce heart disease. Okay. I told you earlier that mental wellness plays a huge factor in and I apologize, a huge factor in the risk for heart disease. Stress is a significant factor. It is no secret that stress can take a toll on our heart. So let's look at this. How can we manage it more effectively? Techniques like mindfulness and meditation can help. But I know you all hear me talk about that so much, and it gets so tiring to hear me say, be mindful, meditate, be mindful, meditate. But it actually helps and it works. Taking a moment to be in the present, taking a moment to remove the clutter from your brain, shut down the noise, breathe, and just sit in place can help. Physical activities like yoga and walking are also great for reducing stress. So, those of you who use, well, my joints hurt and my knees hurt, so I can't really do a lot of physical activity, I can't really do a lot of weight this and a lot of weight training, I can't go to the gym, you don't have an excuse. Okay. You can do yoga, you can do chair exercises, and you can walk around your neighborhood. This is all great for reducing stress and helping to build healthy social connections, and taking time for self care are essential too. So, all of this plays a part in managing your stress and reducing your risk for heart disease. Chronic stress can lead to high blood pressure, which increases your risk for heart disease. Now, according to a study published by the Journal of American Heart Association, stress management techniques like cognitive behavior therapy, can significantly lower blood pressure and improve your heart health. If you don't know what cognitive behavioral therapy is, don't worry about it. I'll put it in my notes and come back and give you a whole speech on it and tell you how you can incorporate it into your daily life. As a matter of fact, I'll probably introduce one of my invite one of my therapy friends to join us so that they can talk about it even more in depth. Y'all, I'm sorry. Somebody don't know I'm live and they keep calling my phone. I'm gonna put it on do not disturb now. Okay. So, incorporating sustainable practices into our daily routine can also help us manage the stress. Things like gardening, cooking at home with fresh ingredients, or even just taking a walk in nature can be an incredibly grounding and beneficial experience. Like engaging in our hobbies and activities that bring us joy and relaxation can also reduce our stress levels. I know a lot of you all like to read, you like to paint, maybe even spend time with your loved ones. Just find balance in your life. That's the key to maintaining a healthy heart. So, finally, we're going to get to the part that I love, talking about dietary and lifestyle changes. To improve your heart health, let's focus on incorporating, like I said earlier, more seasonal fruits, more seasonal vegetables, real whole grains, and sustainable lean proteins into your diet. Reduce the intake of foods that contain sugars and unhealthy fats. Portion control is also important, and I'm talking to the people in the United States. Portion control is very important. You all like to have these huge meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you don't understand what that's doing to your body, how it's overworking your systems, and how it's overworking your body. A lot of you end up with fatty liver disease and don't know why. So, the Mediterranean diet, which is rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats like olive oil and avocado, have also been shown to reduce the risk of heart disease by up to 30%. So, additionally, reducing our sodium intake can help us manage our blood pressure. The American Heart Association recommends that no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. For me, I'm more of about, I say about 1,500 milligrams is that point where we should really be looking. And if you eat processed foods, I know it's hard for you to maintain that. The reason why is one processed meal can contain anywhere from 300 milligrams to about 600 milligrams of sodium. That's why it's important that you read the labels of your food, because what you're putting in your body is super important and you never know what it's doing to other areas of your life. So if you're eating um a lot of processed foods, a lot of fast foods, a lot of unhealthy foods. Even if it's saying it's healthy, you need to read the label, because a lot of y'all like to eat a lot of plant-based processed foods and you're not reading the labels. You're not seeing that they contain a large amount of sodium and sugar. So even though they're plant-based, they're still not healthy for you. Lifestyle changes are crucial. It is important that you pay attention to the things that you do on a regular basis. It's important to incorporate regular physical activity. Those of you that smoke cigarettes, avoid smoking, limit your alcohol consumption, and ensure that you're getting adequate sleep and rest on a daily basis. The other key factor is hydration, you guys. All of this plays a role in having a healthy heart. And when you go to sleep, you want to aim to sleep at least 7 hours of quality sleep. Listen, poor sleep can have a negative impact on your heart as well. So, y'all, those of you that toss and turn and really don't rest because you can't quiet your brain, before you go to sleep, meditation might be something you might want to incorporate into your bedtime routine. You might want to breathe out and Release all of the stuff that is inside of your head. Also, journaling before you go to sleep. Write down those thoughts, get them out of your head so that they can let you rest easy. I told you before, with being sustainable in your lifestyle, choosing locally sourced foods, eating seasonally, reducing food waste, growing your own food if possible can help support a lot of these changes. It's about making choices that benefit both our health and the planet, because we do have to leave something around for future generations. We don't need them stressing and having heart issues because of the mistakes that we've made in the past. And to tie that into this, a lot of us are literally experiencing that right now. We're actually having to clean up the mistakes of past generations. And we don't want to do that for our kids. We want our kids, our grandkids, and our great grandkids to have a better world than we had. Okay. So I'm not going to hold you any longer, and I'm going to wrap this up because we are almost at 25 minutes and I don't like being online that long. Um, Remember that heart health is about taking proactive steps and making informed choices. Combining heart health with sustainable lifestyle choices is a powerful approach. I want to thank you all for joining me, and I hope you found this information helpful as well as inspiring. Um, if you got any questions, drop them in the comments. If you need any more information, you can always go over to my website, www.camired.com. Um, and I'm here to help and support you on your journey to a healthier heart. But like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, you got a lot more information than the people on Facebook, because I'm gonna edit this down and we're gonna add probably a little bit more when it comes to health tips and all of that. So, like I said, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you have any remarks or anything that you'd like for me to do a live on within in the upcoming weeks, please let me know. I did jot down that we were gonna do a live on cognitive behavioral therapy. So we'll definitely do that and how that actually ties into your nutrition as well. So you guys have a great day. Thank you for joining us for Heartbeats. And this was just a brief analogy on women's heart health and environmental harmony, and how we can be as one, and how we're all interconnected, and how our heart is affected by all of the things that we deal with on a daily basis. So I'll see you all later and have a great rest of your day.